We can't. If we were going to do it for each Archduchess and Duke, we can't really just say, well, if you're too cheap or you don't have the money, then well, you don't get access. That will start pissing. Start
Raise
to
a
piss
general
people.
tax by a couple of percentages.
If
But
we
tax
Such
raise
would be
has
disliked.
generally been unpleasant.
Such to be disliked by the populace.
Yes.
if you say
I
that
would
we
suggest
can,
that we use the money we have now. Our funding coming in is decent still, even after our new expenditures to the Order of the Sword, the Imperial Witch Hunt, and our raised research. Luckily, so we managed to create a good amount of trade income from the Ice Giant tribes, who have been very helpful in providing whatever we have need of. Sadly, they do not produce a lot of food, as it is they apparently eat frozen things a lot.
One thing that can be done if money is required is there are bans on several imports and exports, which, if removed, could increase trade significantly, if it's really required.
If it is really required.
what food is banned though? I mean,
Not food, it's like drugs and stuff.
Yeah, pesh
Yeah.
and things.
So the point is, getting rid of
It is possible.
getting rid of the bans would technically earn more money, but you're allowing drugs in.
yeah, no,
I'm doing my utmost to keep our treasury going, and I think I'm doing a decent job on so far.
if
We're still running a good amount of income.
if you
How long
recommend
did we
we
say we
handle
had to pay for the?
we can pay it now, but
It is a one-time cost.
It would
Okay.
take 2 months
They
to
just-
It has no significant upkeep.
Do we have any other large sums of money we need to dole out?
There is the potential for making an anti-animation area someplace, but I cannot imagine that would take the rest of the money in the treasury.
We don't even
If
know
so,
where
then
that's
it simply
gonna
would
go.
not. We have no idea if that is even a viable possibility. Beyond that, I certainly do not currently have any further big expenditures for the kingdom.
let.
If you think, I mean, Raphael would probably argue if you think it's a good idea, he still doesn't really see the point of it, but he can. I mean, he accepts the argument, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, imagine then, if I may say it in words that might be more sensible, if we brought every single noble and their sons and daughters to the great balls in the Sapphire Hall, would they then not gain a sense of community, a sense of connection? They would become friends with one another, and so the Empire would be much more stable. They would know each other in a different way than simply by name or family.
there is definitely upsides to
Raphael
it.
nods
I will
slowly.
not declare war on your friends.
I see.
Suppose not.
I see the only downside is being the cost.
Yes.
Um,
And simply we have the money, and as long as it's just lying in the treasury, it is not doing us much good. Beyond that, we will still have a nice buffer for this.
Such circles have only required a single, barely skilled mage to keep running. As a result, creating such a network has very little in the way of upkeep. In our case, even some of the just more spellcasters of the Sapphire Guard are enough, or even a roller or myself could do it on a heartbeat.
The research has been the only reason I believe it has not been done earlier.
Correct. Much of the original research was lost as it was stored on palace grounds. Well, and then the burning.
Beyond this, we have already spoken to significant noble families, Slovenia, for example, who wish to have donated 2/3 of the money. This is the remaining third. Before this point, we still had the research, but the money it costed was simply outrageous and could not be relied upon. We have
Alright.
since then made it cheaper and had donations to lower it to this price.
how much?
I do not think we can reasonably make it cheaper.
How much of a buffer would we have? A decent
We
one.
would
or-
have more than 100,000.
Okay, in which
Well-
case I would say yeah.
Raphael nods very well. If you do believe it is such a good idea, and looks over the council at large, I would not be against it.
I agree with it.
That's very well then. We will begin construction as soon as possible. Looks to roll that when the papers are signed and such, of course.
I'll have it done by the end of the day for you.
From a military standpoint, I'm also on board because if we have these circles here, then it allows us to get quicker responses in military matters as far as like if a farther duchy
We
is
will also be able
attacked,
to
you
react
know.
like, oh no, the drow have appeared in Lentor. It wouldn't take us like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can just send them through the portal.
Quick to the teleportation network.
Unfortunately, Laurel, I'm going to be I'm going to be on a personal trip in the next few weeks, so I will be able to help you on this project.
I will see what I can do without you, and when you return, it will take months to complete. So when you return, we will have you working on it.
I don't know exactly how this teleportation stuff work, but from a security standpoint, perhaps it should be concentrated
It is
into a
separated
certain
building outside of the palace.
Yes, into a certain place. Call it a travel corridors or something. A place that is easily blocked off.
We already
should be required.
Such a building.
There is the old one that has been ruined, but I think we have restored it as part of the restoration of the keep.
As long as we can collapse it if an army comes through.
Yes, there is a single building basically. It's even available in the
Should
city.
be able to turn it off from the main hub.
Yes, whoever is controlling can basically go in there and shut it off temporarily.
Okay. Alright.
Alright.
If we require it.
I like it.
This is also a danger, of course. We should have a guard under it.
It's also right. It's also right next to Sapphire Command, so basically the Sapphire Guards can storm out of it at any moment.
Or into it.
Or
Jumping into whatever, like, I declare war against you. Oh, well, Sapphire Commander's in your house.
Yeah. It's like across the road from the watchtower.
It is right across from the main watchtower and right down the road from the prisoner guards. So,
And the
let's do
stables
it.
and the kennels and that.
Let's burn some money and invest in this fancy, noble traveling tool.
Sure. Let's do it.
very well.
Wee.
The teleport gate is being done. What is the current treasury value after this?
We'll calculate the money. Yes.
Because it hasn't been updated in a while.
No, I'm keeping complete track of it.
If you want to update it on the little white screen next to the board.
Oh, we have a little white screen.
The little white screen to the left.
All right, sure.
Didn't have pages.
I'll do that then.
We've had that for
I have it in my treasury file where I keep track of all the.
We've had that since since you became.
Yeah, since the council begun, that's been there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing.
I have a lemon meringue.
Lovely.
It's a delicious council meeting.
Here, I will update it.
I have water and I'm cleaning my injury.
Injury.
You've been-
Yeah, I hurt myself at work the other day.
Why would you do that?
I didn't do it on purpose.
Go under current.
Stop stabbing yourself, Jake.
I didn't stab myself. I cut myself open on a meat slicer. It was awful. It
Ugh.
bled for an hour.
Ugh.
Oh my god, are you okay?
Zero.
Yeah, I'm all right. I can take a picture if you want to see
No!
it. It's all right now.
No, I would
It just hurts
puke.
if I put pressure on it.
Don't put pressure on it.
I'm not. I'm cleaning some.
Oh,
I'm
God,
cleaning
I
the
had
crap
to-
out of it. We're good.
I'm just gonna write in the. You shouldn't read what I'm writing in the chat now.
We're good.
What are you writing in the chat? Oh, it's a secret we can know, or?
No, it's just you wouldn't like that sort of humor.
Oh.
Oh.
It's disgusting, really. All right. Well, that is the current treasury values. Which is still doing pretty well, after all.
Sure.
Lady Diplomat,
Yes.
I have received word that a Lady Malin is coming. Lady Malin of, well, one of the richest noble houses in all of the Empire is soon to arrive in the city. She took a surprise visit here, out of the blue as far as I'm aware.
Who's this, sorry?
A Lesrana Malin. An heir to the largest fortune in all of the Empire.
Interesting.
The noble house holds much sway
Wait,
even
the
over the
Lannisters
dukes and
here?
duchesses. She's basically the Lannisters, yes.
Interesting.
That's the chick.
As a result of this, one thing I propose is, if you want to make a good image, especially with her family, whose influence is known well and wide, allowing her a stay at the palace instead of some tavern, maybe, well, for the best.
Makes sense.
We have rooms, right?
There are more than enough rooms.
Dude,
It just
talk
requires
to
approval.
me.
I'm okay with that.
Just as diplomat, it's your choice who gets the rooms.
So,
Give the rich lady a room, God damn it!
Shut up, Riff.
It's not the British Parliament.
Hey, not just anybody can go into the palace, alright? You have to have like a letter.
So is ja.
Alright, sorry.
It sounds like a good idea, Rihanna. I will talk to her and she will be provided with a good room.
Very well. It's good to keep the nobles, especially those with condensed amounts of power, on our side.
Indeed.
Actually, we'll look through her papers again. Silent for the moment.
I have another matter.
Oh my god.
Long meeting.
And now it
Will this ever end?
Never.
is the issue of the temporary ban on gunpowder that was put in action some years ago. The gunpowder ban as such is only a ducal ban and therefore only reaches the Duchy of Emerisia, as some other duchies have a decent production of it and actually have a rather interesting gun progression. I would suggest that we, to some degree, lift the ban on gunpowder in Emerisia, as well other duchies have it. Either we make a empire-wide ban or restriction, or we certainly equalize these laws again. If nothing else, at least the Wolfenbachs, well, not the Wolfenbachs, the Sky Marshals are currently equipped with bows, which is rather inefficient in relation to fighting potential undead dragons. The airships would be better equipped with musketeers. This will take a long time to train. We do have, however, facilities proficient to create these sorts of weapons. However, we would not be able to wield them inside the Duchy of Emerisia, therefore not be able to protect the capital of all places, which is very unfortunate. I would then request either that the ban is completely lifted, the immediate danger of the gunpowder attacks are, after all, over. We have managed to quell them. Or at least that the Rosenbachs be given license to carry these arms as Sky Marshals on duty. When on duty.
I guess it goes without saying that I'm also on board with that.
Well, I think it's a good idea, but I still think that it is not something that just anyone can get a hold of.
Alright.
You know, like, just a dude down the street can get it.
Do you ban swords?
Ban
Or
swords?
alchemical fire.
So
Or
it just looks annoyed at him.
highly viscous acid that can
The result
burn a man's
is
skin off.
a weapon is a weapon, and a weapon is only as dangerous as the wielder is.
It's true.
Yeah, but I
gunpowder's
still
easy to use.
remember. I still remember the explosions that happened. And
I would
had
argue
to
a
happen
sword.
again. Do not talk over when I speak, sir.
I
Somebody's
apologise,
gonna be
Lord Diplomat.
Lady.
She doesn't continue.
I do not want the same terrorist attacks to happen again, where anyone, if it's, where anyone can just get a hold of massive amount of gunpowder. That is absurd. We lost a bridge, we lost people, and I believe that a sword cannot blow up an entire building.
Magic can.
You are correct.
Yeah, but there are still some restriction to who has magic.
Anyone can purchase a scroll.
Anyone can. Yeah.
But not-
anyone
not
can hire
anyone
someone to
can
cast
use-
it. Neither can gunpowder. I would argue that it takes more effort to correctly use gunpowder than blowing yourself up than it does to use some magic.
Riff concurs with Laurel on this.
And if gunpowder is so dangerous, there's one thing I must note forward. Laurel's business comes out of making alchemical weapons. Some far more potent than gunpowder.
Very far more potent, yes.
Some of which does
And
come power.
unrestricted at the moment.
In which case, restrictions should be placed on all of it. We cannot allow more attacks like before. The amount of money
Another
lost in
thing
the
that
military
is
was
in the works,
beyond the
perhaps.
Hmm?
But no other duchy has these restrictions, and as such, the Rosenbergs will produce these weapons in another duchy and use them to guard their skies. It would simply be a bother to train specialized soldiers that cannot fight over the clouds of the capital to protect it when the enemy comes.
We may as well just remove the restriction altogether.
Restriction was also put in measure in order to curb certain terrorist attacks at the time. However, the other emergency restrictions have passed, and so perhaps this one should as well.
Yeah.
Or at least be formulated into proper law.
I missed it in the beginning there a little bit, perhaps, but we're still not talking about letting gunpowder flow freely, right?
As freely as other weapons.
Perhaps just make somebody have to have a license.
I don't like
However,
it.
they would only have to have this license within the Emeritian Duchy, as it is.
Yeah.
If you go to Quell, you can purchase these weapons without any sort
Why
of...
don't we make it empire-wide?
Because some duchies have a rather nice income from it, and it would certainly upset them heavily should this be a problem.
We should look
simply
at
enormous amounts of bureaucracy. It has not been a problem in the past.
Remember the
Yeah,
terrorist
I was
groups
gonna
we
say-
have we have neutralized terrorist groups.
Raphael, as a security head, you should, instead of immediately leaping to let's restrict it, instead look at the crime rates, the gunpowder-based crime rates in the other duchies, and see what their laws on the subject are first.
Raphael quirks a number. I'm not concerned so much about the crime rates. I am concerned about letting dangerous substances flow too freely. We don't sell your Blightburn in the stores, do we, Laurel?
No,
There is
No,
no
not
restriction
to-
against it technically, though,
there's no law against it, but
which
no
might
But
be
I-
changing.
What I'm saying is, look at, as Laurel gives as an example, Quell. They sell gunpowder freely, and what is their gunpowder-based crime rate? If it's low, as
The
low
same
as any other crime,
percentage as other weapons. Fewer, however, it is much more difficult to use gunpowder as a weapon. It simply is a very difficult skill to learn.
As I-
precisely. And as an aside, legalizing gunpowder for more people would also increase, maybe not tourism per se, but gunpowder can be used in things such as fireworks, which would, bring more people around.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can be used for a lot of reasons, and I don't see any need for it on just a few instances where a terrorist group took their way, had their way with a bridge and some gunpowder. Just because of a few souls doesn't mean that we have to restrict everybody.
My
I
thought
would
is,
certainly
if
say that
people are-
that if people are intent on destroying things, they will go to magic first. That is by far the easiest. Most people are able to acquire it and use it. While gunpowder, I do not even know how I would use such a weapon.
As I
My
As
opinion
I'm
on
concerned,
okay.
I have many times before tried to use gunpowder, and as spoken before, it is far easier to blow yourself up than it is something else.
My opinion on it is that if somebody requires gunpowder to commit a crime, they will source the gunpowder, whether it's legal or not.
That is certainly true. They'll find the gunpowder some way, even if
Criminal-
they ship it from other
Criminals
places.
do not legitimately get poison. They get poison through their own methods, do they not?
Precisely. Legalizing gunpowder freely would not particularly raise the crime rate. It would simply increase income and make it easier for us to defend the skies of Emerisia.
I must add as treasurer that the income raised from this would be minimal. We have in Emerisia very few people who are actually proficient in gunpowder. The current issue with the ban is that it prevents the Sky Marshals from having effective weaponry in this duchy only, meaning that this duchy would be more vulnerable to attacks from flying opponents.
It would also take away the money from the black market. Would not take away some income.
I
from
don't
that.
think we have a black market gunpowder sale at all. There simply is no real. There is very little homegrown request for this substance. It simply is not very desirable. We scared away anyone willing to use it to other duchies.
Yeah.
However, it would certainly be an upgrade to our own defenses, and so I believe we should reinstate the allowance beauty. For these matters, of course. having undue weaponry is, of course, always a crime as such if you were to blow up something or even plan to do so.
Rahal thinks. Perhaps, I don't know. In my experience, is the more weapons around, the more weapons will be used.
Exactly my thought. So therefore with this, I also propose forward something else. As pointed out legitimately, Laurel's weapons have been, well, while effective, they are potential dangers that could be used against us. Therefore, a restriction upon all alchemical weapons may be necessary.
I would then put forward a restriction on all weapons being necessary.
The Volsenbracks
people
are a national security
will-
hazard.
Knives then with alchemical weapons.
But
I
you
will
cannot
say,
kill a city
as
with
the
a
head
knife.
I will say, as the
Neither
head of
can you with
security
normal
for the
weapons.
Volsenbrack Corporation, that all of our weapons are kept very securely in a vault where none may access them without proper
You can indeed
authorization.
find our sales. We do not sell acid and such to anyone but military contractors.
May I ask of your substance called Blightburn? I have done research on such.
What do you want to know about it? It is not for sale, if that's what you wish to know.
No, but someone could make it in theory, could they not?
They could, and they have.
As a result of making it, though, such a thing, if released in an urban area, would be catastrophic.
Yes, however, people intending to release it in urban areas would do so regardless or not if it was against the law, as it is already against the law to use such elements.
But if it is at least against the law, then it's not more easily acquired. The trick is to make this as
it
hard
is
to
not
acquire as
easily
possible.
acquired.
Yeah, but our job is to make it as difficult as possible, not helping it along, right?
You can certainly do this. It would not really make a difference.
And besides, it's not as if we create Blightburn when it's not contracted out. Or at all, really.
You've created it out-contracted. Please mention this more.
I don't.
We have contracted to run the airships of the Sky Marshals, who have by imperial decree been, by your own decree, been charged with keeping the clouds of the Empire safe. Something that is an enormous task when only so little resources have been allocated. For currently, it is only because of pure personal donations that the Sky Marshals have been able to do their job at all. Even though we are looking for more sponsorships and the like. We do not get a monthly imperial decree as such. It is a charity organization at the moment.
You see Asmus smirk at the term charity. He doesn't say anything.
Simply put, without generous contributions from the Volsenbrack Corporation, there would be no Sky Marshals.
And with those Sky Marshals, when the dragons show up, we will certainly be lacking a force capable of withstanding them. This is why the gunpowder delivery. To such, I do not really have a huge opinion on whether the public should be able to get it. It is more of a license for imperial use.
Okay, so
Currently,
just-
it will be used outside of this duchy. However, only having soldiers that are inefficient in this duchy, it's something like security seems to be a folly.
I would agree with an imperial license. You work for the Empire, you can handle this stuff.
yeah, sure.
Good.
In the end, this decision is going to lie with the players.
Yeah.
So,
Alright. Next topic.
I would vote for, if we're going to do it this way, I would vote for legality of it, as it was before. And it is as it is in all the other duchies of the Empire.
And I'll also vote for that.
I agree with the licensing of Imperial.
The problem is that if it's legal in all the other duchies, then it's kind of...
Yeah,
You just travel like outside of the city and get it anyway. In that case, it's.
Yeah.
The problem isn't
I don't even
getting
know
it,
why
it's
we
using it.
instituted the ban in the first place. Honestly, if that was.
It was to
the-
stop the terrorist attacks.
Yeah, but
So we could stop anyone carrying gunpowder.
I think it was more to slow it down, like so that we could kind of get on top of crap, because that was during
Like
our
towers
oh my
were blown
god,
up and shit. You know?
yeah, that was during our oh my god, everything's exploding moment. So we were like, do whatever we can.
It was part of the emergency.
also, there was being gunpowder sold on the streets then, but to very limited people. But still, but now just there is no one who produces it anymore here.
So what you're basically saying that banning these weapons actually worked. Nothing else blew up.
Well, we also
And
did kind of.
now you want to release that.
Well, no, we did
like-
kind of. We did also kind of kill the whole terrorist group. Like,
No.
the people using it, we destroyed. So.
I'm for arming the Empire. I don't like the idea of.
Alright.
Like the Empire needs to be strong against its enemies. I am not too happy with the idea of just.
So I'm saying license, free, meaning the final decisions of Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could we just have like a 2-minute break? The cat's throwing up everywhere.
Yep.
Be right back.
All right.
1 minute break.
Break.
All right, that's good. I got food in.